you will upgrade the Docker image, you will keep ready the image, then you will use the same image by spin up a pod in your cluster, and you will do the deployment and you will do pod deployment, right? So that's how we do through the, whenever there is a hotfix, the pod creation should happen temporary basis. We go create and pod.yml and we deploy it. That is only for hotfix. But the permanent, so when you are working in a pipeline, say suppose in Jenkins or maybe in GitHub Actions or maybe in GitLab CI or maybe in Azure ADO, if you are working on these pipelines, you will have to go with the Helm charts only, because these, see, that chain comes from Docker. Ultimately, our application should be created, and not only these requirement, we do create infra in the sense database creation, connecting to database, store the tables in a database. That's everything. User creation, user deployment, those things, and all also we go with the pipeline only. We will not do any activity in manually. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So I do have a project. It is basically the open source. So I used in one of my POC, I mean the project. See, so remember that I used to say POCs and we used to have a project creation and all. We have to create a initial POC project to give a demo to the client. Then only they will agree and they'll give some suggestions and they'll agree on that part. Then only we will get a project agreement between the company and the client. Okay. So we need to have the POC, the dummy project that we need to create. So we need to give a demo to them. Then they'll agree on those component, those concepts. Then they'll have a agreement between the company and the client. Client may be your Google, Microsoft, or Dell, maybe any client. So our activity is to prepare a POC, proof of concept. Okay, we'll have to prepare it and give it to the manager, or maybe you can also give the demo. So you take the demo, you take your handle the demo from your end only. Don't give it to anybody, because your effort should showcase from your end, right? So that's how the company works. If the project is already existing, you are the end user to use it, then fine. But they are requesting to create a POC, proof of concept, we'll have to use the dummy code. Okay, so I have used, let me share my screen. I have used one of the code that I have in the open source, which is basically in the GitHub. Let me share my screen, entire screen. So able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here I do have the GitHub URL under Helm. So this is basically the GitHub repository. So here I have, here it is open source. I'll share this GitHub link. Okay. See, this is Helm charts Ingress example repository. Here they have the Helm charts here, and if you need scripts, they also have the scripts here. Okay, refer this repository, and if you want to know more on scripting, there will be a build.sh, dependencies.sh, destroy.sh, generate config.sh, and initialize.sh. You can go through these scripts. So now we no need. So I'll share this repository and you can explore on this. Okay, we need only the Helm charts. Okay, so if I go under here charts, so here they have see, here they have chart.yml and values.yml. Remember that when we run Helm create, when we run this create Helm create followed by the chart name. It will create a default file called chart.yml and values.yml. Correct. Inside that there are templates.yml. Under templates there will be deployment.yml, hpa.yml. Remember this is hpa, horizontal pod auto scaling, right? Ingress.yml, service.yml. Through these files only we are able to create our deployment, our horizontal pod auto scaling, and ingress and service, including the pod. Okay, so this repository is readily available and you can clone this and you can use the same for your configuration for Helm charts. Okay, so here if you can open this deployment.yml, you will see your code here. It starts with API version, kind, deployment, and this is basically the template. So wherever we see the deployments are creating through this template only. Okay, clear. So you can refer this. This is very lengthy script, and this works on only they do have some POC project here and they have pushed here. Okay, so similarly HP horizontal pod auto scaling. Okay, so the kind horizontal pod auto scaler and also the scale target they have given. See the resources they have given is CPU and the container app, target type utilization, the average utilization, the value it is picking from this only values app dot target CPU utilization. So this is the value. It will pick from value from this and it creates a horizontal pod auto scaling based on the demand increases and the decreases. Okay, and similarly the ingress. So these are all basically the templates. Okay, templates in the sense default templates. So where we see our ingress, when we run kubectl get ingress, where we see our pods, that is created through this template only. Clear with this? You guys are with me or not able to understand this?
Yes, Anil.
Yeah. So I will share this repository URL. You can go through this. And also there are a lot of open source repositories. You can refer those for your POC project. Okay, and some are requesting the complete project. We will show the project once we have done with all the sessions. Even I'll show the project of Jenkins which we are working and including SonarQube. Okay, that too with the in-person. Okay, so this is very confidential to share the screen here and explain that. It is not going to happen. So when we meet in person, we'll explain the project, complete overview, and we'll show how it works. Okay, and similarly the service dot similarly the service.yml here. So remember that we do have to create for a pod and the service. So here that's why they have created two. Let's make it hide. And these are all the templates basically, the default templates. Okay, so you can, I will share this Helm chart ingress example, and also there are some Docker file. So you can see this for, see, you can clone this and you build this Docker image, and same you can deploy it to your cluster. You can use the same Docker file. See, you just copy it and put it in your locally. That's it. Okay, and also the make file, the CMake build. Okay, you can see here config maps and see this. As I said, Kubernetes built with the language called Go. Okay, so here is the language. So which, see this complete, you will see here now this templates. Under templates, this deployment.yml, this complete language, the variable that they defined in terms of Go only. Okay, so that's how the Kubernetes component built. This is goes some. These are all the repositories, the version and all. And this is the main code. See, this source src is the main code which is written in Go only. They are trying to build it from the Docker file, and that they are creating it by Helm chart. And they do also have the DB schema.sql. So it will create a table in their database. Okay, and this under the script they do have the build.sh. So they'll build a Docker here for this Docker file. Okay, for this Docker file, and also they do have a dependencies if they have dependencies of this repository. They are installing some package with these. Okay, so inside this Docker container, they wanted to install Docker Compose, kubectl, kind, Helm, and CMake, and then Automake. They wanted to install these. These are all the dependencies to build their code with the Docker image. Inside that Docker image, they are having dedicated container to work all these. Okay, and also the destroy.sh they do have. After that, they are deleting a cluster here. You were able to see this. So kind delete cluster, and then Docker Compose down, and after down they are deleting it here. rm-f. This will delete the container after deleting the cluster, and then generate config. Let's see what. Excuse me. Okay, generate config. Here they do have the variable defined, and okay, config map. See, when there is a database which they are connecting here, DB. So we wanted to provide kind as config map when we are connecting to database. So that's how they are creating here. And then metadata config map. And then DBs, they are connecting DB's host name, port, DB name, and the table name. And then here are they're connecting with this table. Okay, so this is the script that we have under build.sh. Sorry, under dependencies, right? Sorry, under schema SQL. See, this is the table that they wanted to create it under DB. Okay, so this is how this project is explaining here. Suppose if you want to initialize any, they are initializing the kubectl apply to this, and then wait namespace timeout. Yes, they are creating a pod. Simple. Here you can see here now. For condition is equal to ready pod. So this is basically based on the requirement we need to use. See, they are having the dedicated namespace called Ingress Nginx. Okay, we should directly either when we are in a namespace with the environment, or maybe in the dedicated namespace we should use to deploy our resources. Okay, clear with this? You guys are with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, and also there is so we do use .git ignore in the Docker. Why do we use this? Say suppose if you want to ignore some of the files which is causing to pull from the pipeline. Okay, so your pipeline is failing due to the extension of file which is picking from your pipeline, say called main or star.pyc, the extensions, right? So you can add it here. See .idea. See, there are some code which is available in the repository which is causing your build failure. You can keep it under .git ignore. Okay, so where you have our file which is including in your pipeline, you will keep under git ignore. Git ignore is basically to ignore those files. So if you are not providing those, you will get a build failure. Okay, so clear with this? Similarly, we do also have docker ignore where you can ignore your Docker files which is causing your Docker build. Okay, there are two files here, .git ignore and .docker ignore. with respect to the files, which is script, with the extension of these, you can add it under .gitignore. With respect to the Docker, which is causing your Docker build, you can put it under to ignore those Docker files. That's it. Okay. And everyone knows this readme.md. Every repository has their own readme means. If you refer this readme, you will be understanding of how to use this complete repository. That's how we need to prepare the readme.md. Okay. So here they have written the usage of this repository, the procedure. So make, prepare, make init, compose, and they do have the commands here they have listed. So every repository has readme. Okay. So it helps us to make usage of the repository. Okay. And you are the owner of that repository. You will have to create your readme.md if you are creating your own project. Okay. Because we including this, see, your repository structure should be in this way only. You should be having your source code. Let me explain here. Why I'm saying this is because one of our client has rejected our repository just because of readme.md is missing. Let me tell the scenario here. See, we do have the repository structure should be this way only. We should have our configuration file. Suppose if we are using any DB activity, we do have the folder created and the scripts should be stored under the scripts folder only and the source code under SRC here. This is the source code, go.mode, sum and go. So this is the source code. They should be under source code. And after that, if we want to ignore any file from the Docker, we should be keep it under .docker ignore and .git ignore if you want to skip or ignore any of the files. And out of these folder, Docker file should be present. Suppose if you're using any build tool called CMake or Maven or your MS build, it should be outside the folder, not inside the folder. Okay. So here they are using make file as a CMake build through this. So that's why they have kept outside the folder here. See, directly they have called the script here. Here you can see. Okay. Under scripts, there is a script called dependency.sh. Here it should be available. Okay. And after that, you should have your readme.md. This helps each repository, the usage of the repository in the complete project. So we should have readme file with each and every repository. Okay, this is how the project structure and folder structure should be. Okay, and Docker compose. So this is basically they are not moving it to the cluster here directly. They do have the Docker compose. They are having the DB image created, MySQL, and the port with this restarts always, and the environment they have used with the SQL password and database username. The volume that they are going to create here, and then app that they are going to create is this with environment with a container name called app.
Sandeep, in production, do we keep this Docker Compose file?
No. See, either you should go with the Kubernetes deployments or the Docker Compose. See, this is very old. So they are in the old technology. So I did not use this Docker Compose. So what I took the charts and the scripts I copied here, and I have replaced according to my requirement.
So in production, we don't commit this, right? Like directly we just use this.
See, when we are working in a production, so if it is in a production, we will not keep any of the data like this.
Yes.
So it should go via the pipeline, and we will not keep these in directly. We will add those encrypted data here. So this is just a POC. That's why we are able to see here. That's why they'll keep it as open source. We should not keep this way. This is not recommended. So when we're in a production, we should keep it in either we should create a environment variable. You keep it somewhere, and either see, we know how to create variable in Jenkins, right? So there we can create a variable and we can keep it in Jenkins itself, right? Instead of keeping it here directly, the host name, port, and then table name and all, and including username and password. It is not recommended here. And even POC also, it is not recommended.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. Anybody has any questions, guys?
No, that's what I asked. But about showing the password and username. That's
No,
wrong,
no,
I
this is
see
not. This is not.
actually.
Yeah, this is not recommended. So that's why they have in open source. So this is not recommended.
We will
We should
encrypt
keep
it
it in.
without exposing here.
Yes, correct. So we should not expose those credentials, even the DB name and then password. Especially for username and the password, it should not keep it this way. This is not recommended. Either we should go with encrypted or the runtime variable, we call it as. Whenever you set the variable, hard-coded variable, we should use the same. And same in scripting also. Scripting in the sense, either your Python, your Bash, your Ruby, your Groovy, any scripting. So we'll not expose those username, password, port, and then host name and all. Yes. Anybody has any questions, guys? So that's it for Kubernetes. Okay. So Amruta, can you share your screen and show us that what you created and through the Helm?
I have created, but I have to. It is getting crashed, so I want to resolve that issues.
You're getting image crash loop back off?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Your image is not built clearly.
No, actually, basically, it was telling like so.
Are you sharing a screen?
Yes, I am sharing.
Yeah. Can you enlarge your screen? Okay. Can you?
Previously, I was getting this error like HTTP, whatever health illness, and that one is not reached. Like a 404 error, I was getting if I describe.
404 means if your
Liveness and redness is failed.
Okay.
It was telling like so. I have mentioned /health. So it is telling that is not found like that. So I have to debug.
No. Health. See, when you're when you're pointing health, is your application under health? The data is available.
No.
If the data is available, we should point health. Else we keep it blank.
I just kept blank. So after that, I am getting this crash back up.
Yes. So your pod is not deployed properly. Can you run Helm list? Helm list, not lists. Okay, you have the Helm chart created with my app, correct? And that
Yes.
why you going default namespace? So I told to create a dedicated namespace now. You are in default namespace, right?
Yes, yes.
And the revision you will have app version and updated status deployed. Chart name Kubernetes Helm app 010. Your app version will be 1.16.0. Okay. Can you run kubectl get pods? Okay. See here, Nginx is running. There are two pods are running. One is crash loop backoff,
Yes.
and the other one is running. Also, it is showing 0 of 1. It should be 1/1. Can you describe the first one? Okay, which pod that you deployed via the Helm? Which pod you?
Node.js I have taken just like I have built my Docker with the Node.js only.
Okay, so you created replicas too, right?
Yes.
Let's make it 1. Go to, can you open your Helm values.yml? You replace replicas to replica count. Let's keep it 1. So if it is working, then we'll go with 2. Save this. And you are aware of this. Once you rename, once you add the value, you will have to upgrade the Helm, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, 1 minute, wait. Can we delete those pods? It will not delete. I think we have you created as deployment, right?
Yes.
What you do now, can you create a namespace here called dev kubectl create ns?
Not inside, right? Outside the folder.
Yeah, you need to go outside the folder. Kubectl create ns. You are not remembering the command.
No.
Kubectl create ns dev. Okay, can you switch to the dev kubectl config set context hyphen set hyphen context hyphen namespace equals to, there is no, can you run this? kubectl set context, right?
It's just open.
It is kubectl set context only. Can you
En is not there. Wait, I pick up.
you copied from there only? So there should not be a hyphen after set. Now can you run Helm list? Helm list. Okay, here it is not available. Why? Because you have switched to the other namespace, right? Can you create here and add the same content? Helm create, give some custom name. You can give my app, or maybe my app. Can you do ls here? Your folder should be created here called my app. Can you go inside my app? Can you replace the values here? Same, the one you did in the other namespace, default namespace.
Full file I have to replace, right?
Yeah, you replace with full file.
Okay.
You do one thing, you go to that folder, switch the namespace, put it in your notepad, and copy the content from notepad and put it here. You getting my point?
Yes.
Anybody has created Helm apart from Amrita? Rohit, have you created?
No, sir. I have to do it.
Sharif, Bari Sagar, Niharika. Nobody has created Helm charts yet.
Yes, created.
You have the Helm chart with you?
Yeah.
Is it
have,
working?
but no, like it got an error, like the same. I too got the 404 error. So later, what happened? My DB was not working. So and it was my issue was service name and the port number was not matching. So I fixed that. But
Service name and the port number of application.
yeah.
What is meant by
So
not matching? What is the error? What is the issue?
see, actually, in what happened in my DNS, I need to add the EC2 public ID. So instead, I mismatched that ID. So then I was keep trying on. I was getting error. So actually, I got time wasted there. So then I realized and I fixed that IP. And in the service also, what happened the value we give right like in so that format was not good not in the proper way.
Format is in the sense your
Yeah, value
config.
value SAML file. Yeah. So
Okay. See,
after
format,
fixing the
that is not the issue. Format, you can fix it in the, that's why use the, what to say, VS Code to have the proper formatting. It will highlight wherever the syntax missing, or maybe it will, even if you have any config is missing, it will highlight. So use the VS Code.
yeah.
Which
One second.
build that you are using for code
No,
modification?
I use this Visual Studio only. What happened like
Okay.
in the I was working in this in the server. I just I did Nano and I edited there. So I think that the mismatched there.
Okay. But that should not happen actually when you are either you will use Nano or VI, should go to editor, then should not gonna miss your syntax and the proper alignment with config. Should be very careful on that. What about others, guys? Siddesh, Abdullah, and Pooja HB. Pooja,
Yes, Sandeep.
have you created Helm charts?
No, Sandeep.
Why?
No. Yesterday's I have not done it. Today I'll
I
do it.
heard that from Sandeep when he's asking a question. Okay. So you will say like either yes or no, or you will say you don't know. See, let me tell you, if at least the way that you're saying no, you will have to say that okay, at least I'll work on that. I did not get the time to work on this, and you will be engaged with your activity. You say something, but when we are asking something, even when you joined your project or even when we are working in your environment also, if anybody heard that, okay, I don't know that directly, it looks odd, right? And I don't know this, and I did not work on this. And instead of that, you can say, I can work on this. This feels like, okay, this resource is required. We'll keep it this resource, and it feels like that, correct, right?
Yes, sir.
You need to improve that, because I heard this from Sandeep. And when whatever we ask to Pooja, she'll say, okay, if she know, she'll explain. If not, she'll say directly, I don't know. You should not say that. Okay, I at least the way that you can say the convinced method, saying I did not work on it. I'll work on it and I'll give some input on this tomorrow. At least that statement, right? It looks good, right?
Yeah.
And this is for everyone, not only for Pooja. So if somebody is asking, did I sharing my screen? I'll stop presenting. Okay. So if somebody is asking any task, any activity, see, ultimately we need to be in the job itself, right? We need salary. End of the day, we want the money. So even we need to improve our knowledge. Even if you want to switch a company, you need to improve your knowledge and you need to learn more, right? when you join the project, you need to learn whatever they ask, but you should keep maintain your attitude. That is for sure, because you are the owner to that code, you are the owner to that repository, you are the owner to that pipeline. You should maintain some attitude in the project. Okay, to be frank, if you are not clear, if you're not speaking properly, they'll not even talk to you. Within 1 or 2 months they'll remove you. This is for sure. Okay, that's how we need to speak. Okay, if you know that, explain them, give them a clarity, make them understand. That's it. Your job is done. Nobody will talk to you, and you will get a like good amount of return from them, maybe in terms of salary hike, maybe in terms of recognition, maybe in terms of you are good at knowledge. But if you are lacking knowledge, see, when wherever you joined, when which company, that doesn't matter on that, but the only depends on your knowledge. Okay, so when you joined a company, at least if somebody is working currently, if you are good at knowledge, they'll talk to you nicely, and they'll have some like um, outings and all, right? So you will get recognized. So that's how so everyone knows here, but this is for information. So if you know, if you learn on this, you can maintain some attitude in the project. Okay, let's go to the technical part. Anybody has any questions, guys? Amruta, you can fix that, and you will have to have the dedicated namespace created and deploy your pod deployment ingress. Try to ingress. I'm not sure because that is only on the free trial. Try to, at least you will, when you run get ingress, you will be able to see. But don't go for debug part. If you have a time, you can go through, but there are a lot of things that you guys have to learn still, and you need to revise also, because we are in a end session, and from next session I'm gonna start Terraform. Okay, so anybody has any questions, guys? And that's it for Kubernetes concepts. Anybody has any questions?
So we have another concepts, right? Config map and secrets, I think so.
Config map secrets are, so RBAC, role-based access control. We do create a secrets to authenticate our cluster, so that you can go through that. And also config map, whenever we do connect to the DB, the kind we mention as config map, and rest all are same. All 4 component, like your API version, your metadata, your spec. So we create in terms of container only. So whatever we do, create a config, we keep it ready, the Docker image created, and we create the config map. So whenever we are interacting with the database, we do create the config map.
If possible, can you give the topic name of those the field which are left, so that it will be helpful for to go through.
See, it's
Because
not like topic left and that topic we covered. Okay.
No, Sandeep, thing is, we are getting questions from the Q&A from Kumar sir. And the problem here is some topics are not covered, and he may ask.
Where you're getting question? What question you're getting?
So the Docker volumes were not completed in the Docker. So he suddenly asked, we didn't know that at that time the Docker volumes are there. So we have multiple types of Docker volumes. So if you give the concept names also, it will be helpful for us to read and go through that particular topic.
See, okay, if he is asking, even might be asked in Q&A, right?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
That's where
so at least when he asks something, why can't you guys explore more on? Okay, if I'm not giving that, okay, which is not 1 minute. Let me clear. So if he's asking the questions, at least you can explore on it. And you say that we did not cover on volumes, and there are a lot of types of volumes that you said. Why can't you explore on Docker volumes on that? You know the concept, kind of.
I didn't say that I haven't gone through this, but I asked you for a help to, if possible. I'm not.
We will share the document and we will share the concept. But for your statement that saying did not covered, and it looks odd for me, because it says that See, it's not like our intention to skip this thing and we move forward and we wanted to be in a hurry. It's not gonna good for us to give more concept. Whatever we do, whatever we cover in a sessions, we should be in a clarity, and some may, if it is required, we would have covered this. Okay, it should
What
be
else
required.
can I say? If I suddenly ask, if I don't know, I have to go through that one,
See,
right? So I have
you
to say
say
that one.
that, you say that I'll go through this. See, why we should have Q&A, which we have topic not covered in the sessions. Okay, you say that it is not covered, or maybe I'll go through that and I did not work on it. I'll go through that and I'll give it to the at least some time to, you can request that way, right? So
I
the
said the same, sir.
intention of purpose, the QA purpose is to cover real-time scenarios and the project, the current market that we receive from other batch, the interview questions we do cover in Q&A. So if he is asking, then okay, you can make a note, okay, volumes. This guy is not covered and let's go through that. That's how you can do, right? And even though when
what
you're
I'm
saying,
doing actually.
go ahead.
No. So that's what happened in the Docker, right? Thought to ask you like this. So what else could be there? I thought to go, but there are a lot of documentation getting a lot of. So if I go for AI, it shows so many. So want to filter out in that.
So many documents in the sense. No. Wait. You need to refer only the Docker document with the authorized document. Don't refer all the, like there are Linux Academy and like there are lot of documents from Google, Microsoft. You need to refer only the Docker document which I shared. Remember that I have shared on link for the getting started app, right?
Yeah. Docker.
Through that only there are lot of concepts. And there is a application readily available and the code is also available. You can go through that, and inside that there are nested folder in the same link, volumes and bind mounts. You can go through that
Docker
with the same link. Yes. And see, it's not like, let me clear on this your statement. If the topics are skipped, because we have not come across those till now, and some people may use till only they wanted to build an image, they'll keep it in the repository and then whenever they want they pull it, but they are not using Docker Compose, they're not using any Docker volumes they'll use, and bind mounts. Okay, the rest of the concepts they're not using it, right? This is basically, there is no syllabus in the IT that we need to have this kind of knowledge, but whenever you start working, whenever you join a project, you will be start working on it, you will be explored more, but we should have the basic understanding of that tool. That's it. There is nothing like, okay, this is not covered and this is not, I have not having knowledge on this. Okay, but you are not having, we are not covered it. Okay, fine. At least if you are getting, if you heard that word from anybody, you can start exploring on it, right? That's how I do. Because if I wanted to understand, if the job is, if the question is getting from that concept, I'll have to learn it myself. But don't say that it is not covered and it is not explained in the sessions and all, right? Okay, anyways, we'll do share there are concept in all the tools, like from Docker and Kubernetes.
Yeah,
we'll
I meant to say for the production purpose, at least for the production purpose, what are all required actually. So what
is meant by production purpose?
So let's assume that we have a Docker Compose, right? You just said that we doesn't use Docker Compose for the production purpose. We directly go for Kubernetes. So
no. Wait. That is not the understanding level. See, Docker Compose is basically where we configure our YAML configuration, correct?
Yeah.
A similar concept we do have the modern technology called Kubernetes, correct? Even in pre-prod also and in the production also, we do go with the Kubernetes. Why I said we are not using it, some of the on-premises, they are still in YAML. I mean, in the Docker Compose. they don't want to migrate it to the Kubernetes. Whatever we do configured in Kubernetes till today, similar configuration they'll have in a Docker Compose. Okay, but even
how do they get availability of the applications? They go with single Docker containers or multiple Docker containers there?
no. They will be having multiple Docker containers, because single container we should not have the.
It will crash, right?
It will crash, and even it will not handle the more data.
Yeah,
So
that's what.
they will be having multiple containers, and they'll have the multiple container created, and they'll keep it in some repository, either your ACR or maybe in any cloud, if they are using, if they would to keep those images in the repository.
Yeah.
Is that clear, or you have some more questions?
Clear, sir. No, nothing clear.
So see, basically, when we are having Q&A, at least you heard somebody, those concepts you can cover from your end, right? At least.
Yeah, covering it, sir. Not to mention it, but ask it to filter out few things. That's it. There is nothing else.
Filter out in this. See, that's what again I'm saying on your question. See, here filtering out means if I'm using that, if that organization is not using that concept, I don't want to keep it here, because that depends on the organization. So maybe the other organizations, maybe they are configuring config, Kubernetes config, Git config, and these concepts they might be using based on the requirement, right? So basically, it depends on the requirement where they wanted to implement the technical component, right? So that's how the project works. Because in my project, I'm not using any config map, and because we have not dealing with any database. Similarly, we are not using it any volumes and bind mounts. We do have 2 commands to create a volume, and whenever the container crashes, for the disaster recovery, we do have the volume created. And if the container, by chance, if the container is crashed, we do attach that volume to the newly created container. That's it. That we gonna implement it here in my project, to be frank.
Then
I'm not
how
using
does the
bind
variables? Okay.
Let me complete my statement. Then I'll go to your variable concept. So bind mounts is basically where we have the volumes extended. We are binding it, the complete package. So that they wanted to implement, because we no need to have the bind mounts. Only we have the volumes created for disaster recovery. If suddenly your container crashes, you will get to be backup. That's it. That we wanted. Suppose if other organization are working on, they wanted to implement bind mounts, and you will have a time and you can explore more. And even though when we are asking the same question in Q&A, you say that I did not worked on it, I'll go through that. Some statement, some convinced statement. Okay. Now, Rohit, what is your question?
Then you say, how do you manage the variables without config map? Directly mentioning the variables in the YAML file itself.
Basically, config map is meant for database. Suppose if your variables related to the database, we will do config with our pipeline variables. Either in Jenkins, we know how to create variables, and in GitLab CI, we know how to create variables, and also GitHub Actions, and from Azure AD, which is related to particular database. Config map is meant for database configuration. If you're dealing with your database, suppose if your variable is related to your build tool, or if your variables is related to your automation script, we do divide all the variable username. We name it as DB username, and we name it as DB username Jenkins, username Maven, username Git, right? That's how we do differentiate the variables to avoid conflict.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yeah, yes.
Any questions again?
That's also no questions from me.
Okay, we do share the document, and also we do give some of the topics. So I'll speak to Sandeep, whatever he cover, at least he should explain in the Q&A, and you guys have to understand more, and you will get more clarity when he's having Q&A and when we discuss the more topics in the Q&A. Okay, and also, and I just wanted to understand, are you guys comfortable with, and you're getting a confidence that you can work independently here, or you still on the confusion? Just wanted to understand from everyone.
Also able to understand and work.
What about others? And nobody has question here apart from Rohit. See, any question is fine for me. Either you say, okay, this is not covered is fine. That is also fine. And either you not explain this clearly and not understood this clearly, and this is not a thought in the session. Anything is fine. Any question? Viresh, Rakshita, Pooja, Sharif, Niharika.
Yes, sir. So how do I deploy this applications on Kubernetes once the integration is done, CI part? Like
How to deploy the application?
I mean, like what the CD part I'm saying in the via the pipeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once the Docker images is built,
Mm-hmm.
so in the pipelines, how do we proceed with the?
Okay, you are asking the deployment, the CD part, right?
Yeah, the CD part. Like, do we go with the Ansible scripts or the any other tools?
No. Ansible is basically the multiple server configuration. So when you're asking about the CD deployment, we do have the Tomcat web server. So we do deploy it to, you did the Tomcat deployment, right?
Yes, sir, that part.
Similarly, we do have the application to be deployed to the Tomcat, the web application. So we do create the Tomcat image, Docker container, and inside that we do deploy it, our application, so that it through the Tomcat you will be able to see your application. See, suppose when you are using your WhatsApp web in your browser, your backend will be working in Tomcat only. That's how we have to write a code. You getting it?
Yes.
So basically, when we do the deployment, we do stop the process. We do copy a file of your application files, application dependencies, and the config file and the code. And you will restart the Tomcat process once you've done the copy, means the deployment. That's how we do call the continuous deployment. So call the deployment, your live application. So once you've done the deployment, this is works through the pipeline. And once you've done the deployment, you will be able to see your application in the browser. You deployed it to the production pre-prod, right?
Yes.
And you asked the SonarQube configuration. So whenever you meet in person, maybe we'll create a batch. You can come here and we'll explain the SonarQube configuration and how it works, and also a few of the projects that we have in the current working organization, and we'll explain those.
Sure, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. We'll meet in person.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, anybody has any questions?
Sandeep, we are maintaining like RBAC, right? Means to provide access.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 4 types, like full we have to give, means we are using some cluster role. So practically how we are giving, like if I wanted to give for a full cluster, I wanted to give access for the person. How to give that?
See, this is basically depends on your team member privileges, the rights you will have to provide. Either, say suppose you are the senior most, you should have all 4 access to that cluster, right? And if you want to keep your cluster to be safe, you will just give only the limited access that you need to divide from your end, or you will have to decide in the team, okay, these two members should have only the cluster access. They should not touch the cluster config, means the control plane, right? Config map, sorry, API, API server, etcd, and kube, what to say, kube. There is other component in the control plane, right? So they should not touch those. Only they should create a pod. They should have the deployment. That's it. They wanted to, if they want to roll back, they'll have to go to the previous version that they wanted to keep it. That you have to decide in the
in
team.
YAML file only we are mentioning like so particular persons only accessing
Yes.
like one
Yes.
group or okay.
Yes, in the YAML means in your Helm charts.
Yeah.
Everything, because everything works with everything, we should go with the pipeline. And whenever we are using pipeline, we'll have to go with the Helm.
Okay.
So each and every component, we should create it from the Helm.
Also, we can restrict with some persons. That one also we can do.
Restrict, what you want to restrict?
Example, one from the one guy IP or from one guy user, I wanted to restrict for that. So
That you can do it from your cloud perspective only.
okay.
So not in the clusters. So only when you want to secure, when you want to give privileges or the access in the cluster level, you will have to, that is basically the RBAC, role-based access control. Suppose you can prevent from the cloud, which is using in your cloud, you can use the same, or you can go with the RBAC configuration.
Okay.
Again, anybody has any questions? Maybe anything. Rohit, any questions?
No questions, sir. That's it.
Sagar,
No, Sandeep.
okay. If no questions, then let's wind up. Everyone has to create the Helm chart. I have pinged the assignment also in the group, right? Nobody's worked on it.
Yes, I will do it to December. EOD will share.
Okay, and let's have a break on tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, right? 10th. Okay, let's have a break on tomorrow. Let's continue from Monday. Let's start the new tool called Terraform.
No.
Okay,
Okay,
so guys, please work on, get hands-on experience. At least try to understand the concept. And if you have a time, you can work on also.
Trying to build a project. We'll let you know.
Yes, can build a project. And there are a lot of source code will be available in open source code in GitHub, but you need to search, that's it. And there are a lot of AI tools are available. You can explore more on the rest of the concepts, which is not, which I have not covered if you feel. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah,
Not
and
to
we do also.
not to offend you, so.
No
it's
problem.
nothing.
See, that feedback should be very transparent. I like that statement. Okay, it's not like that you are saying it's not covered and all, but I want these kind of transparency. Even I do maintain the same in my project. If I'm not done the task, anybody can say, okay, you have not done it. We also maintain the same the feedback should be transparent, correct?
Yeah.
I like this, but anyways, you can explore more. Also, to be frank, if you have any questions on any tool, any doubts, you can ping in the group. Either you can ask in the sessions, either you can ask in the Q&A. I'm not like others. Like if I wanted to explain you, if I wanted to make you understand, I'll prepare myself first. And I'll have to learn, I should be understand that concept 100%. Then I'll have to explain you. That's how I do. Even I do follow the same in my project. Even I do follow the same in my tasks and all. But if I'm not knowing that, I should not say that. At least I'll have to say something. on the technical part. You can also maintain the same in any of the organization that you joined. So try to learn more, try to be strong in technically. If you're stronger technically, like you'll be able to speak. Otherwise, you will be not in a position to speak at least. Okay. Yes, Amrita, you were asking something.
We are going to get any document, like a PDF document on Kubernetes topic.
Yes, we do share. We'll share that Kubernetes document, and also we'll share rest of the some pipeline CI/CD part. We'll share that. Okay. Again, any questions, guys? Please complete the assignment, and you guys have to explain, give a demo. See, I saw this batch apart from Rohit and Amrita, Sharif. Nobody will speak here. I don't know how we will work when you join the organization, but you guys have to speak. See, if it is wrong, also fine. But when you start your conversation, you will learn more. You will have to speak more. That's it. There is nothing. ರೀ ಕೆಲ್ಸನೇ ಬರ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ IT ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. They'll do only maintain the people management. Seriously, then there are a lot of people. But you guys learned.
I have experience in that one. Every day.
Yes. Then those guys not even know Linux command. They are getting more package. Why can't you then? Right? There are a lot of people. That's why we took more time to cover. We'll have to explain. But you should be very strong in technically. And anyways, you will speak your personal things and all if you're speaking with anybody. But the only part here is the technical part. Should be aware of that. Veeresh, Veerabhadra, Naga Reddy. You will speak whenever we ask, whenever we schedule a Q&A, or whenever we call the name, then only will speak. No. Wait. Here the problem is with us or the problem with you guys? Problem with whom? Okay, you will have to work yourself, right? You will have to do some homeworks and do understanding, and then you will have to do, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, to have this, you need to spend more time on this. So when you want to keep more technical part in your statement, you need to spend more time, and you need to keep on saying yourself, okay, this is the statement that I wanted to tell. If for this question and for this pod, I need to explain this way for deployment, for Kubernetes, and for Docker, Jenkins, any tool, that you need to tell yourself that at least in kind of by heart, or by heart will not work, but we need to understand in a proper way thoroughly, then we can make a statement our own and we can explain that, right? But we need to add more technical what to say, term that we need to add it in your statement. So to overcome this, you need to spend more time. And whenever we do have the session gap, right? So maybe you can work more. That's why we have given the time after the Q&A. We have given 3 days, and before that also, so we do have given some gap also, right? Gap in the sense to speed up your understanding level and the tools learning part, right? So why you not covered those days? So to overcome that, definitely you should spend more time. And wherever you go, 24/7, you should be learn these tools only. Then only we should be understanding 100%. If not, okay, if you are spending 1 or 2 hours, no, this will not gonna work out. That depends on your uh, IQ or knowledge. So suppose if you read once, okay, you will be able to ready when asked question on tomorrow. If that is the case, you can spend at least half an hour, then fine. But if you're not, hmm, okay, but that's what you need to spend more time. No, that is with your end only. So when you are working, if you feel any concept you are not understood, you can ask me. Else, you can ask in Q&A those who are taking in our team. Also, you can ask a questions directly, and any feedback is fine for us. And if feel any question that you want to ask, you can ask. Okay. Yes. Oh, okay. Fine. Yes. Anybody has any questions? Then, if not, we'll disconnect. We'll connect on Monday. Let's start the new tool, Terraform. Sharif, you want to say something?
No, so just have one general question, like not regarding the topics. Basically, like so, I think we're starting Terraform, right? So by mid-August, like the course will be completed, right?
Mid of August, yeah.
Like you have to start preparing for the interviews, right? So I just
Correct.
wanted to know regarding that interview parts.
Yes. We'll tell the interview part. So after the tools that we covered, so we'll have to give some. Again, we'll have the mock one-on-one with everyone. I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So after this Terraform completion, we'll have to give you the mock with everyone, and we'll start. See, already we started your backend process. Okay. We'll have to prepare a resume, and we started your the backend work. Definitely, after your statement is true, after the Terraform completion, we'll start your placement, and we give the introduction part. You will explain you how to tell your introduction part and how you want to speak with the interviewer and how you want to work when you join the organization. That and all will explain. We'll be connecting the session. We will not gonna stop the sessions and all. So we'll explain
this month
them
it will continue. So this month the sessions will continue. So just wanted to know that. Just
we will continue the session, and whenever we feel that you are prepared and you are ready to give the interview, then we'll stop it. Until that, we're not gonna stop any sessions, because I heard that from this batch only 4 or 5 candidates are ready. Rest of the candidates are not prepared properly. You guys have to prepare and be ready for the interviews, guys.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, fine then. Let's connect on Monday. Please, guys, try to understand more and try to finish the assignment. Utilize this tomorrow on today and tomorrow's time.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.